right, with all due respect, good morning, Kenyans, and that's the man of the hour, the man of the day. It's only the second day of the ongoing transport operators strike, meaning that even today, many thousands of Kenyans are not able to go to work as a Matatu strike over fuel prices continues. But the biggest talking point, this image you see on your screens right now, is the trending one this morning. There's a gentleman who stood up and told CS for Energy, Opio and I, with all due respect, we've not agreed on anything. What you've just told Kenyans is not the deal. This is the Morning Cafe. Karibu sana. My name is Fred Indemuli.
This is TV47 Breakfast.
TV47 Breakfast.
Wacha kuturudisha mystery.
TV47, okay, with all due respect, it's TV47 Breakfast.
Yes.
Karibu sana. As we continue coverage of this transport crisis, Matatu operators and other transporters down their tools yesterday, and they continue on the second day. Karibu sana.
All right, my name is Annie Odid, and of course we'll be bringing you up to speed with everything as far as the roads are concerned this morning. If I'm sure they're going to be deserted as kama tu jana, and in fact today, you know, we could anticipate even more desertion as we saw yesterday in the road. So we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the day today. Of course, that deal wasn't reached yesterday. Walikuwa wanataka 46 shillings deduction, but they only got 10 shillings deduction. I've seen a very, very funny tweet this morning that, you know what's funny, is that they're trying to do hesabu ya makanga with Matatu industry. Ati nipe 100, alafu nikurudishie 10, then uchukue 36 ya huyo. Bas.
Now those people wanakuanga on top of their mathematics. Arithmetic hivi akikwambia hivi, by the way, if you add up inashikana, akwambia wewe shika hii 40 bob, alafu upatie huyu so, alafu huyu mwingine atachukua 70 bob. Ni unabaki but later mkihesabu inaingiana.
They're right. Sharp boys, those ones. So that is what maybe the government in EPRA is trying to do with the Matatu industries. But these ones, very, very sharp boys. That is what we're keeping an eye on today.
Yes. I have some statistics. So far casualties have been reported. The Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen said 4 people have so far died, over 30 have been injured, and hundreds more have been arrested amid the unrest. Yes. Live pictures there. This is a Pangani interchange. Vehicles heading towards town. Quite a few vehicles and even some Matatus operating this morning. And yes, these is courtesy of our reporters who are already on the ground, are trying to take a look at some of the roads, major highways and major tributaries into the city. We'll be getting an update from Mudhoni Brenda and our other reporters who are already just taking a look at what's happening in and across Nairobi, also from other areas across the country. But yes, indeed, this morning you can see a number of Matatus operating. But remember, wanapeleka watu town, lakini sijui mtarudi nyumbani aje. Hapo ndio shida iko.
Watatembea. Jana ni kama walitembea wengi.
A walking nation, niliona kitu kama hiyo, watu wamesema walking nation.
Unaenda
Good for your health though. Ukitembea, lakini unatembea ukienda.
Unaenda wapi?
Most shops and businesses remained closed for the entire day yesterday because of security reasons. Unfortunately, when it comes to such events, there are people who take advantage, gangs na wengine. So many people are concerned about the security of their businesses and would rather remain at home, not opening their shops. And it means that the economy is actually going to slow down for those 2 days.
Kabisa even education. Because I've seen also, you know, principals and the head of schools are complaining that they're going to stay behind.
Yes, because would you as a parent allow your child to go to school without knowing how they'll get back home? Remember, not all students or learners enjoy school transportation. Some of them just use public transport, and quite a number of them. Or some of them just walk to school. But with the kind of chaos and uncertainty over the security, I'm sure many parents would just say, okay, fine, weka nyumbani, watch cartoon, tugange yajayo, let's wait for tomorrow, see if at all it's going to be better. So that's a Ngara stretch, that elevation of the Globe Cinema roundabout as you get into town through Kirinyaga Road or Ronald Gallas. Ronald Gala menaitwaje? Tomboya Street. Tomboya Street.
Is it not RNG? Okay.
Yes,
okay,
so either way, this is going to be the biggest discussion, fuel prices. So yesterday evening, there was a statement at around 9:30 by the government, flanked by players in the transportation industry. And the government has offered to review the prices downwards of diesel by 10 shillings.
Yes.
Na hapo akasema nafikiri wali agree, fine, that's a good start, but we're not going to move until we continue this conversation tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then the CS comes out and says, yes, hii ni kama tumekubaliana, 10 shillings tuko sawa, good night, the strike is over. Kambia, with all due respect.
With all due respect.
With all due respect, Bwana CS. Hatuko hapa ku set up anyone.
Yeah.
Hatujakubaliana. Because then again, you can imagine these representatives of Matatu operators. They have people they're representing who have gone on strike and lost income. Alafu unakuja ile kitu mlisema mnaenda kuongea hamjakubaliana, alafu sasa na you're forced to go back and report to them that tulikubaliana 10 shillings.
On national TV.
That is setting them up.
Yeah.
Na watu wa Matatu wasamehe watu sana. Unajua mimi sirudi huko kuambia watu hivyo hatujakubaliana.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, EPRA has already released a statement following that agreement, quote unquote, by the government na how ingine yayo 10 shillings, and they say that we have recalculated the maximum petroleum prices to be enforced from 19th May 2026 to 14th June 2026 following a petition by public transport sector operators on the need to minimize the risk of motor fuel adulteration that may arise due to diesel and kerosene price difference. Now in Nairobi, super petrol, diesel and kerosene now retail as of yesterday night 214 shillings and 25 cents, 232 shillings and 86 cents, and 191 shillings and 38 cents effective yesterday night. That is prices in Nairobi as of yesterday for the next 30 days. All
right. I'm looking at the Twitter handle of Metro Trans. It is one of those Matatu circles that has quite a number of those minibuses in the famous one with grey, red and a bit of blue. Wamesema, dear esteemed clients, we wish to inform you that the PSV strike is still ongoing and therefore our buses will not be operating tomorrow. This was posted 6 hours ago. Until further notice, this decision has not been made lightly, but the current situation has made it difficult for us to continue normal operations. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused and appreciate your patience, understanding and continued support during this period. We remain hopeful that a lasting solution will be reached soon so that services can resume normally. Thank you for standing with us. That's Metro Trans East Africa Limited, one of the main bus operators in the city. Yesterday we had the chairperson of Forward Travelers, and he had indicated that they would actually continue for 3 days this week until they get a solution, and then after that, if they don't get a solution, they would down the tools every Monday going forward. We are yet to get there. I saw him on TV among those people who were giving the statement as stakeholders in the industry. So we'll be talking to him when Paul Thiong'o is the chairperson for Travelers later on phone to tell us how far they've gone with this. But yes, it looks like we are into the second day of this Matatu strike, and with no end in sight.
All right.
Yeah, the president is actually in Azerbaijan. Probably near tunangojea a solution.
You remind me of something I saw somewhere, that somebody made a comment and said it's like we are in a WhatsApp, this country. Tunangoja admin arudi na tupatie way forward.
Yes. Ni kama siasa anaogopa kusema kitu.
You know, that's what is happening quite literally. But there's also something I've seen here, still from EPRA, that has caught my eye, that the applicable pump price per litre in Nairobi for diesel therefore decreases, by 10 shillings. And that of kerosene increases now by 38 shillings and 60 cents.
Yes.
And super petrol remains unchanged.
And that's something that at least we can say they agreed on. Even the Matatu operators say they agreed on that, because there's a risk when the prices of kerosene are too low in comparison to diesel. There's a risk that this oil marketers and outlets will then adulterate the diesel using the cheap kerosene, which will affect vehicles later on. That's one angle I didn't know about. I learned about it yesterday. That when you make one of the products too cheap, because they can actually mix. So people use a low, cheap kerosene to adulterate the very expensive diesel. And then that causes problems for the matatus or vehicles that use diesel in a few weeks or so. So yes, that one at least they agreed, and that's why they saw an increase in the price of kerosene, at least to balance so that it's not too attractive for adulteration of other fuel products.
That's actually bad manners if people do that.
It does
Imagine
happen.
what it does to the engine and the vehicle itself in general.
All right. I know it is still a bit dark in the CBD and other areas, major highways leading to the city. But very soon we'll be getting a report from our reporter, Modoni Brenda, and other reporters in and around the city, just to see if at all Kenyans, because many Kenyans were caught off guard yesterday, they just showed up. But today I know many are ready after watching TV and getting that statement. Nakambua, with all due respect, we've not agreed on anything. So leo tuone kama Kenyans are actually in town. Are we ready with Modoni Brenda? All right, we'll be linking up with her shortly.
All right.
Probably other highlights away from the fuel discussion, probably the weather. The Kenya Meteorological Department continues forecasting continued rains in Rift Valley, Lake Victoria Basin, coast and eastern areas until May 25th, that's next Monday, with flood and landslide risks. So you can imagine as a walking nation right now, alafu kuanza kunyesha ile mvua ilikuwa inanyesha last week. Yani double suffering for those people already. Because let me tell you one thing, there are people who earn on a daily basis that if at all I do not leave my house and go out, then this family will sleep hungry. So probably anafanya kazi ya mjengo ama kwa industrial area, probably in a factory where they package stuff and food stuff, and they have to walk to work to ensure that they have kibarua ya hiyo siku. Because akikaa nyumbani watalala njaa.
A lot of Kenyans are actually doing hand to mouth.
Yes.
So that's a challenge.
So those ones are forced to work.
Yeah.
Wale wengine wanasema mimi sitaenda kwa ofisi ni sawa and nothing changes.
Salaried workers.
Yeah. Just say mimi sitaenda, nitaambia tu mdosi leo, si hata umeona.
Yes. Na yeye anaona.
Hata yeye anaona, hata yeye mwenyewe ameshindwa kwenda kazini.
Yeah.
But there are those who, if at all, they do not go out. And that includes even Matatu drivers and conductors, because they're paid on a daily basis. They're not on a salary. So for them, that 2 days of strike is a big impact, has a big impact on them and their families as well. So people are counting on the fact that because of this suffering, they'll force themselves to go back, at least earn something small. But we just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Somebody said that, you know, the Matatu riders, they have the chance and the opportunity, you know, to increase the fare prices. But now they decide to communicate what other Kenyans are trying to communicate. Because they are going at us. They're staying at home. Ni sisi sasa, you know, we are just looking at them as they air out, you know, the grievances of other Kenyans.
I was talking to one of them yesterday, and I said, you know, for daily commuters, wanajuana hata ni marafiki. Because wanapanda ile matatu daily asubuhi na jioni, So ukimwambia wewe now you are going to pay 50 bob extra, anakuambia wewe ni aje, sina hiyo pesa na unajua sina. So affecting new bus fares or heightened bus fare does not necessarily work the way people expect it to. Because I'd say they're hiking fares by 50% by Friday. By Monday wakasema, well, it's not working the way it should. Watu hawana hiyo pesa.
Uchumi ni mbaya.
Well,
meanwhile, hiyo picha ya, you know, I've seen very, very lovely memes hiyo picha ya, with all due respect. Mtu amesema akikutumia hiyo, know that you're lie, na atataka kusema ukweli.
I'd want to know that gentleman's name. Because I think he's not the highest ranking among those people he was with. But nafikiri alikaa hivi akaona, huyu chairman tumekuja na ama these other people who actually forward pale mbele na CS ni kama hawajasema, ni kama tumegongwa na hawajaongea. Mimi si, with all due respect, that cannot be, we've not agreed.
Tutoki hapa hivi.
Alafu sasa ile alisema hivyo, wengine watu wakisema ni kama hatujakubaliana, walikuwa wapi?
By the time you're done with this, tutakuwa tushapata jina lake. I was just trying to look that up, but we'll get him.
I don't think he knew or had an idea of what he just did. Because this morning is just waking up to his image caricatured. Wametumia AI kila mahali. Ukiingia Twitter tu hivi is just that gentleman. Na wameandika up with all due respect. With all due respect. Let's listen to what this gentleman said yesterday during that presser by CS Opio Wandai.
We need to know the figures. We need to know the figures.
Est-ce qu'il y a questions? Non. Are there questions? Yes.
There are things we do not agree here. And I believe, Bwana CS Churchill, with all due respect, we did say that we are going to communicate here, clear and open, that we have not agreed, so that we carry this conversation forward And you did state that we may have tomorrow Tuesday, we may have tomorrow Wednesday. Are we clear, members?
Yes.
We did not agree in anything. They gave us 10 according to what they are going to have a conversation with EPRA. And we did state 35 up to 30. That was the communication. With all due respect, we respect each one of us here. And that is what we want it to go out, so that to our members and to the nation, that we did not come here in anything or to set up anybody. Together with the government, we are law-abiding citizens, and we abide by the law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. My friend.
The strike is still on.
Statement hapo mwisho akienda. The strike is still on.
Yeah.
Is what everyone was waiting for. Okay, so umesema nini?
Yes.
The strike is still on.
Usitupange.
That gentleman was actually standing behind. He was not supposed to be the one talking. The chairman of the Matatu operators alikuwa hapo just behind the CS. Other high-ranking officials were there. Yeye alikuwa huko nyuma, lakini anasikia hapana. Ile nasema pale mbele. Unless I'm wrong, si kile yenye tumekubaliana hapo. Ndio mmesema hapo, but no, we did not agree on that. Or rather, the agreement we had is not what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And many people criticize the CS for lacking proper public relations or communications methods to talk to Kenyans.
Yes.
Because many Kenyans have questions they need answers to.
Yeah.
But wanasema the kind of communication coming from the government, the CSs are more in response to what other politicians have said and not to the problem that we are talking about. You're busy responding to Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is not our problem right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that is what Kenyans are saying. It's about the fuel prices. Why are you bothered with what a politician said? Shida iko hapa. Watu wa matatu wako hapa wanasema hivi. Ndio huyo jamaa akasema And if you go to X, the discussions are very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pictures, the same gentleman. I'm sure vile umesema tu, by the time tunafika mahali tutakuwa najua jina yake.
Tutakuwa tushapata very verified memes, and hopefully tutawaletea kesho asubuhi tuonyeshe what is even today because of this broadcast. I feel like the CSs are also just being quite defensive. Even the way they're communicating it to the people is not giving, we are working on this. As much as they're saying they're working on the issue and trying to resolve it, they're doing everything that they can. But Kenyans are not feeling that statement that, okay, you're saying you're doing everything you can, but let's see it, let's feel it. Communicate it in a way that, is kind, in a way that is empathetic, in a way that will, help us understand the situation at hand. Because again, one time you say Kenyans have no business with the Strait of Hormuz. You see mambo yao, si mambo yetu haituhusu. But okay, our neighbors, they are doing quite well. They're not talking of Strait of Hormuz every now and then, like, we are talking about it. Then how do you communicate this problem, to the people of Kenya, and how are you trying to solve the issue at hand?
Incidentally and curiously, the CS for Treasury, the CS for Energy,
yeah,
what any experts
what are we
from ODM. By this, I don't know how they found themselves dealing with this crisis.
Yeah.
That the two of them are the ones dealing with this crisis directly. And finally, we do have Muthoni Brenda. She's finally in the CBD. Muthoni, good morning. The second day of the strike by Matatu operators and other transporters. How is the city center looking like this morning?
A very good morning to you, Fred Indimuli and Ann Odida. We are coming to you live from the streets of Nairobi, where a quiet, uneasy paralysis has taken over the capital on day 2 of the nationwide transport shutdown. Here at Koja Stage, the human cost of this nationwide strike is playing out in real time. Usually at this exact hour, Koja is a beehive of chaotic activity. But today, as you can see, hundreds of commuters have been left stranded. And today, unlike yesterday, it's just a few isolated 1 or 2 matatus or buses, and they're not ferrying passengers outside of town. So wanafikisha watu tao, alafu ukifikishwa tao, utajipanga vile utafika. If you look around me, many of these workers have told us that they have trekked for hours on foot from estates like Pangani, Ngara and Muthaiga just to reach the city. The few options here are brutal because you're forced to either take a boda boda or a digital hailing cab. Ukiitisha a digital hailing cab, it's taking hours in the Muli, and even if it comes, it's slapping you with astronomical prices. Hapa boda unasikia kutoka hapa sijui mpaka kama area kama Pangani unasikia wanakuitisha 1,000 bob. And with the late night government talks completely collapsing yesterday night, we'll see how the area looks. So that is the situation on ground here, live from the CBD in Ndimuli. And Annie, back to you two in studio.
Hear me? Yesterday you were there and many Kenyans appear to have been caught by surprise because you had very many people in the CBD. In comparison to yesterday, how is the crowd today? Yes, how is the size of the crowds in the city center today in comparison to what we had yesterday? All right, I think we've lost Modoni, but she'll be answering us that question. But you can see actually the number of people in the city is not as big as we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Meaning that more people anticipated.
Yeah.
More people anticipated that the second day of the strike, okay, we learned our lesson.
Lakini hawa wanaenda wapi? Hawa wako town.
Si ndio nakwambia kuna watu lazima waende kazi. Wasipoenda watalala njaa.
So how are they going back home?
Watatembea. And we have Modoni again. Modoni, if you can hear me, this is a question we are asking because yesterday on the first day of the strike, many people appear to have been caught unawares, and you interacted with quite a number of them in the city center. In terms of numbers and in comparison between yesterday and today, how are the numbers today of people who just showed up and they're hoping to travel or to commute to another part of the city?
I think today, Fred, in Ndimuli, yesterday it was a case of testing the waters. So the people who came to town tested the waters and they did not like it. So today the numbers are generally low because yesterday from as early as 6:30 a.m., we met a group of commuters pale Muthaiga intersection. But if you look today, numbers ni kidogo. It seems Kenyans really are taking these strikes seriously and they know that the strike is on, so they are not taking any chances.
Right. Thank you so much, Modoni, for that update. We'll be coming to you momentarily for more within the city and other areas around the town. And you can actually see most people have decided to stay at home. Okay, kama this, I think they're taking, after your statement, with all due respect, the strike is still on. Usisingizia ati usikujua. You know, there are people who did not even know there was a Matatu strike yesterday morning. They just left the house na akapata matatu by chance, akafika town, alafu anasikia mbona hakuna watu? Ati kwa matatu ziko, lakini si nimepanda matatu. Okay, jioni hakuna ya kurudi home.
You know, when you say the people who didn't know, and now it gets me wondering, these are the people who say they don't watch news nowadays. I would blame them.
If you're not watching news and you're not on social media, then where are you?
Where are you?
How would you, why do you find yourself in a situation like that?
Kiza hata radio, utapata news hapo. You know, we are in a state where a lot of Kenyans have detached themselves from, you know, just listening to news, radio, watching news itself. Wanasema wanapata kila kitu social media. Sasa, consequences. These are sasa. The all due respect guy is called George Matete.
George?
Matete.
Matete.
Yes.
George Matete, salute. Let's take a look at the dailies today. Of course, most of them are just covering what happened yesterday. People daily, they talk about the fuel crisis, deaths, chaos amid state inaction. Okay, when they say state inaction, okay, we saw the CS try, a couple of CSs try. The deputy president, I think, was in Tharaka. Unajua anatoka huko, so alienda kuzungumzia huko. Yeah, the deputy president is still in the country. But hata yeye kuna kitu anaweza fanya kama wanangojea. Amesema in one of the dailies that the president will call for a crisis meeting. But when the president is away, the deputy president should take charge and call for that crisis meeting. Yeah? So itabidi tungoje president atoke Azerbaijan.
Harudi aongelee hiyo mambo.
Meanwhile, we can't do much. That's the People Daily. And they have a very interesting photo pale on the front page of the People Daily. Moto kila mahali.
Yeah. Still on that newspaper, People Daily, because there's something they mentioned quite interesting, that they quoted Gladys Boschuli, that this issue is not si mambo ya president. Hiyo si shida ya president, ni shida yao kama legislators, members of parliament, that they should actually solve the situation at hand and not the president. Then
she is in the speaker's panel.
Yes.
She is supposed to be one of those people who petitioned the Speaker of the National Assembly to recall Parliament from recess, because they're currently on recess, to discuss a crisis of this magnitude. Lakini hata wao ni kama wanangojea president ndio kuja ambie Parliament, the representatives of the people elected earning money from Kenyans, ndio warudi Parliament kudiscuss matter.
Yeah. Ridiculous. That's all we can say about it. And there's also a very interesting line here on page 2 of this newspaper, The People Daily. It's a very interesting read today. You can grab a copy and read it. That pundits say that the current 13th Parliament will go down in history as the most transactional, subservient and detached assembly since the dawn of multi-party democracy.
Hapo kwa detached. I'm sure they're waiting for the president.
Yeah.
Akuja awaambie now go back to Parliament and discuss this issue.
Yeah.
This is a house of 349 members. Hamwezi kaa hivi with a speaker.
Yeah.
And a speaker's panel and a leader of majority and minority now wote. Hawezi kaa tu hivyo waseme this issue mali imefika, it's of national concern, we should reconvene, discuss it.
Yeah.
Even if you have proposals, because they have proposals, they can actually move a motion to suspend everything else and talk about this.
Yeah.
Find a solution. The National Assembly cannot and should not be waiting for the president to come back from Azerbaijan for them to move.
Yeah. That is why I also agree with that subservient term by the People Daily. That, you know, they're just ready to obey others unquestioningly. They don't even question. They want yes to yes, yes, no, yes, no. They're told to jump, they ask.
How high?
How high?
Right.
Interesting.
The other paper, The Standard, total shutdown. Ameonyesha picha pale Thika Road. Unajua kuna ile drift ukitoka Allsops as you go down into Garden City. As in hakuna mtu pale. That is usually one of the busiest sections of Thika Road as you head out of town. And we continue getting live pictures of the situation in the CBD. This is Moranga Road. Yeah, heading towards upande gani? Out of town. Yeah, heading towards Thika Road. Watu walikimbia asubuhi kama ulikuwa umesahau duka kitu unaenda unachukua unatoka haraka. Because you do not know what will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll continue giving you those pictures even as we get our other crews are everywhere. Sisi media ndo kunanga bahati ati tutakaa nyumbani. We are here. Hii ndio bahati yetu na bahati yenyu. We are here to bring you up to speed with what's happening live. Keep watching TV47 because we will definitely, all our reporters are at work, by the way.
Yes.
And we'll be here to give you all the updates throughout the day. Kama kuna kitu inafanyika mahali, TV47 is your go-to place.
Walikuwa nasema huko X, sahi millennials do snitch kazini. Kila mtu amekaa nyumbani au ndio wanaenda kazi. Sasa natoka kwa nyumbani nikisema, if you see me outside, just know I'm a journalist, I'm a member of the press, I have to be at
even our Gen Zs at work, wamekuja kazi.
Yeah, wamekuja.
So the Standard talks about the different areas that have been affected. One is security. Gangs are taking advantage of the strike. Believe you me, there's a misconception about a strike and a protest. Yeah. And even street marches. Because the transporters are saying, this is a strike. You down your tools. You leave your matatu at home.
Yeah.
Hatukuji kazini. Lakini kuna watu wengine wanafikirianga tu ukiambiwa ni strike ni kwenda kurusha mawe, kuwasha moto, kupiga kelele.
Yeah.
That is not a strike. That is now a protest march or riot, which is not guaranteed in the Constitution. But picketing, going on strike, that one is allowed. Yeah.
So what's happening is a go-slow?
It's actually a go-slow, yeah. There's a Pangani interchange, just after the Pangani interchange, as you head towards Thika Road, out of town, and ile Muthaiga Square pale, Muthaiga Kaleka Bridge kana cross kuingia Muthaiga hapa. Kidogo kidogo utaona TV47 mahali hapo, lakini yeah. Sisi tulitembea, we walked to work, we are here to bring you up to speed with what's happening. Thika Road, okay fine, usually this section heading out of town is usually not so busy at this time. So that's typical traffic. But heading, you can see the opposite side, the headlights of vehicles heading. Hapa hata ikifika saa ngapi, hapa ndo unasemanga ile utalii drift going up Mathare Mental Hospital, hapo inakuanga choka block every morning. Leo angalia watu wana drive ni kama wanaenda kanisani on Sunday morning.
Kumetulia.
Kumetulia.
And it's on a Tuesday.
Kuna mtu aliniambia ali drive into town, anashanga kwani leo ni Sunday? Nakwambia nilikuwa namuuliza wewe, yani hausomi habari, haujui, you're not on social media, you're not watching TV, you're not doing anything. I don't watch local TV. Bure kabisa kama wewe you don't watch local TV.
Bure kabisa, I agree.
You have to be informed about what's happening in your country. These are the same people who don't even vote when it comes to voting day because they say they cannot be involved in politics. Na unajipata mahali hata ujui nini.
Very dangerous people to even go near the ballot box to vote.
Yes.
Because they're out of touch with things that are happening in this country.
You cannot be out of touch to that level.
Yeah.
It's actually criminal. It should be criminal to be out of touch to that level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sana sana sai, you know, we are at a very critical stage right now. Finance bill, reading, karibu inaanza, right? Sasa sai tunaongelea mambo na fuel. We're forgetting about finance bill. We're not reading about it. We're not talking about it. We're talking about fuel. Before we know it, June, there will be that last reading, and then by June 30, it will be assented by the president, and then...
And you're not aware about it.
And you're not aware about it.
Even for your own security. Because you could end up somewhere, because gangs have taken over, gangs are taking advantage of this. Utajipata mahali ujui kwa wapi kwa nini, ujui hawa watu kwa barabarani kwa nini. It is always good to be, that inaitwangaje, spatial orientation. Just know your space, the space around you, what's happening.
Read the room.
Yes, read the room, please.
Quite literally.
Usienda aseme, oh, mi sikuwa najua. Ignorance is no defense anywhere. Utajikuta taabani, chunga sana. Watch TV47, go to social media, read newspapers, just to know what is happening. Hata kama wewe ndio nani.
All right. So, kuja kazi pia nilikuwa naambiwa ukitoka ukienda kazi jana, goons walikuwa hapo stage wanakuambia nipe kitu kidogo, na kama huwapi, it's either your car is being touched ama unakwama hapo upiti. Because
gangs, what they've done, they've blocked sections of some of the roads. You see, young learners heading to school, and that's junior school surely. Even a parent who's letting the child leave home in this kind of situation. What are you saying? Si hata uchukue mtoto wewe mwenyewe umpeleke shule basi.
Wacha mchezo.
Because surely how do you allow your child, a young child, junior school, to go unaccompanied to school in such a situation?
Peke yake.
Peke yake. Mtoto mdogo.
Atarudi aje home.
Na shule nyingi, even schools should have actually sent messages to parents to give them a caution that even if you allow your child to come to school, kindly be aware of the security situation, because there's an issue about security.
Yes.
Businesses have been affected, and they've also taken measures to protect themselves. Education has been affected, but clearly some parents are not even aware. Transportation, of course, has been affected, and the major one, the economy. Everything grinds to a halt. There's no revenue being collected. No one is doing business. So even the losses that the government is saying, okay, fine, hatuwezi toa pesa, bado loss inakuja.
Yes.
Yeah. More live pictures on Thika Road, one of the busiest tributaries into the city. Today it's looking forlorn, it's looking empty on both sides of the road. You can count the number of vehicles on Thika Road heading towards town.
For the first time ever in a long time.
Kwa kawaida huwezi hesabu hiyo magari.
The last time that happened was during COVID-19.
The picture on the front page of the Standard is exactly where we are with our camera right now.
Yeah.
That route between Allsops and Garden City, one of the busiest sections of Thika Superhighway. Heading towards town, gari ni kama tatu hapo, unahesabu na pikipiki kadhaa. Na mingi ni za polisi. Na ambulance. All right. Total shutdown on the front page of the Standard. Front page of the Daily Nation. Total paralysis. Two-word headlines leo.
Taifa Leo, nchi ya kwama. That's about it. Nchi ya kwama kweli.
Hata Business Daily ile wanasema sasa, eyes on Ruto over fuel taxes as businesses count losses. And I think that's also a crisis in itself. That we have to wait for the president, who's away in Azerbaijan attending a summit, for us to resolve this crisis. A full cabinet, the deputy president is here, everyone is here, but eyes on Ruto. At a parliament cannot reconvene to discuss a matter of national concern. We have to wait for the president.
The country has to stay in a standstill.
Until the president comes from Baku.
Yeah.
There's a story in the inside pages of the Daily Nation that talks about how the president went to Azerbaijan. Alienda na private jets, chartered private jets. Sasa they are comparing this fuel crisis na his means of transport to Azerbaijan. It couldn't have come at the worst time. for the president. Now he has to come, probably now explain why he used a chartered plane to Azerbaijan. What was he going to Azerbaijan? Unajua Azerbaijan iko wapi?
Wapi? Labda mtuku atuambie. We have a reporter there and moms.
Ushasikia Caspian Sea. Uko sijui iko wapi huko?
Iko huko Azerbaijan.
Iko Azerbaijan. Baku iko hapo karibu na Caspian Sea. Alafu we have to wait for President William Ruto, surely. What can kwani president atafanya kila kitu?
Yeah.
His deputy was in Tharaka Nithi.
Kama baba atoke sasa mama haizi nunua.
Haiwezi fanya kitu tutakanja mpaka baba arudi.
Yes.
I want to
allow
me to say this probably once. I might get in trouble, but I need to say shame on you to the National Assembly that it is days of such a crisis. You've not seen the need to recall Parliament. Yeah. Au wengine nitawasamehea for today. Wacha tungoje mzee arudi. All right. So tumeangalia magazeti yote hapa nchini.
The Star iko dunia yao.
The Star today.
Fresh, independent, different.
400 modern markets spring up to show up small businesses. That's the front page of the Star. And you're fresh, independent and different.
Yes.
You cannot, hata surely, you know. I know hii inakuanga Tuesday not for sale na inakuja na ile government pull out. But surely, hata wange change tu hapa, hata jioni, you can change a few things and talk about the fuel crisis. Hata kwa top strip ama bottom.
Muonjeshe tu watu.
Ule mwenye alikuwa on duty jana, tafadhali, the editor at the Star, surely, hapana.
Mwambie read the room.
Read the room. Spatial orientation, uko wapi, nini na, hao ndio watu, okay, tulikuwa tuna blame watu wasome gazeti. Sasa mtu akisoma the Star hapa front page, atajua nini inaendelea Kenya.
Okay, honestly.
Because even the media has a responsibility to tell people what is happening. Okay, so what does this headline tell people? Yeah, on a day like
400
today,
modern markets spring up to, show up small businesses.
with no mention of the protests or the security situation in and around the country. Anyway, inaitwa editorial policy. Sijui kama tuende huko, kuna story nilikuwa nataka kuzungumzia Uganda lakini sijui kama nitaweza.
Sema haraka.
Anita Among, ule speaker, amefinywa, sasa wamechukua Rolls Royce. Apparently she has a Rolls Royce. Wamechukua Rolls Royce yake, imekuwa nini, sababu Muhoozi Kainerugaba alisema, I am 50 plus years. I've been the president's son for the longest. I've never driven a Rolls Royce.
Wow.
Anita Among sahi shida after shida na hata kuwa speaker walisema hivyo. That's the only thing they're talking about in Uganda. Anita Among. All right.
Anyway.
The cartoons are also talking about fuel crisis. Cartoon on the Star ni petrol station, alafu ile wale wanaweka bei ya mafuta wameweka an arm and a leg.
The one on the Daily Nation bado pia inaongelelea hiyo to matters fuel. Strait of Hormuz, kuna global war. President William Ruto is also there. Lakini huyu nani? Who is that?
Wapi kwa Strait of Hormuz?
Strait of Hormuz. Local taxes.
Huyo ni CS,
wa Kenya.
ule expert CS for treasury.
Hapa amepambwa,
anafinya wa Kenya na local taxes, lakini huko wana blame Strait of Hormuz.
Mkenya ajui Strait of Hormuz iko wapi jamani?
Alafu najua sasa watu wamekuwa werevu, wanarudi back to 2022. Ile debate ya presidential debate, wanatoa statements zote za President William Ruto. Alisema, me I know the problem.
Yes.
Taxes. Hizi zinaonekana hapa, lakini hapana, sasa tumepata excuse, Strait of Hormuz. It's true. The Iranian crisis huko, it definitely has contributed immensely to this crisis. But sasa unajua watu wamesoma sana na wanajua hapana. Even beyond that, there are some taxes here.
Kabisa.
So ku convince Kenyans that in Strait of Hormuz peke yake ni shida.
Itakuwa ngumu.
Ni ngumu. People are very knowledgeable now. Dismissing Kenyans ni kama hawajasoma ama wajui nini inaendelea. Ni ngumu sana sasa.
Hata Mbadi mwenyewe ako record akisema fuel ifai kuongezwa before aingie Kenya.
Yes, he was one of the biggest critics of some of these things. Unfortunately. Sasa ni yeye na ndugu yake, the other expert for energy. Wameshikana hivi. Now the two biggest critics wa serikali a few years back, ndio wameshikana na hii crisis wakijaribu kuambia Wakenya ni Strait of Hormuz. Wewe bana, waacha mambo yako wewe.
Experts kweli.
Experts.
Letu jicho.
But I have to commend the cartoonist on the Star. Even on the front page is off. Alishika hapo. All right. So we'll be discussing these and a lot more with our panelists this morning. Of course, matters fuel crisis and the response by the government in how they're handling this issue. That's the biggest discussion this morning. Do you believe that the government is doing everything in its power to ensure that this crisis is contained Yeah? Ama we're just waiting for the president.
Right. Ni kama tutangoja. Sasa tutafanya nini? Na kurudi anarudi lini hiyo?
Hata tujue anarudi. Unajua sasa lakini akona chartered plane. Anaweza panda ndege anytime. Sio lazima tiende angoje ati ile scheduled flights.
Yeah.
Akona private jet.
Yes.
Wanasema that will be the discussion. The last time he went to the US, this same discussion happened. And when he came back, he had to explain a lot about, I chose that mode, tulipewa na rafiki, since we only spent 10 million, nini. Right now, we just need him to come back and attend to the fuel crisis. Hizi shida za how he went there, alipanda matatu gani, matatu ikakuwa na strike, lakini hata unajua kukiwa na strike ya transport, si anaweza haya Uber.
Well, what a time to be Kenyan.
Nimeambiwa niwache sasa. Nimewacha.
Umechoma na bado hujachoma. You've been very very kind. Naona ni kama there's a lot you want to say lakini unataka.
Acha niwachie hapo. We have a problem. With all due respect, let's focus. But to the National Assembly, surely you guys can do better.
Yes.
Because all these taxes, the president cannot just come up and change. It has to be discussed and debated in the National Assembly.
Yeah.
Why they don't see it fit to come even prepare ahead of the president's visit? Shida. It's Committee Road.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly which section of Committee Road, but yes, areas around Roysambu and Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Now, unaona boulders blocking sections of the road. I think even motorists and those people using motorbikes have tried to remove some of those boulders that were put up yesterday by people blocking sections of the road. Some of these gangs were even charging motorists just to use the road.
Yes.
Unaambiwa lazima utoe 400 ndo uweze kupita. Even journalists were being charged.
Wow. Hawajali hiyo ni press.
Wanakuambia tunaona kama we know you are journalists but hata sisi lazima tupate pesa because hakuna pesa mahali tunapata kwingine leo. So it takes a lot of courage even for motorists to come out with their cars. This section usually has a lot of matatus heading towards town and other areas. Na unaangalia vile iko. Lakini as we said earlier, kuna watu lazima waende kazi because wasipoenda watalala njaa. Ati kuna wengine ati hata kama kuna mwingine hata sio lazima aende lakini anaenda tu anapata ofisi imefungwa na uliziwa na HR wewe unaenda wapi? Lakini yeye lazima aende tu kazi.
Yes.
Millennials.
And you know actually I saw people yesterday on TikTok wanasema wamefika kazi wamejipata wenyewe. Millennials. Sasa
we trying to encourage people to stay home. Kama inabidi uende kazi. Kama
mimi niko kazi wewe ukiamua kukaa nyumbani hiyo ni shauri yako mimi niko kazi.
Mimi hata mimi nimetembea nimekuja niko kazi.
Sasa nilikuambia.
All right. So we'd like to usher in our guests so that we can continue this conversation as we continue monitoring the situation on our roads. These are live pictures you're getting from Committee Road. Very interesting. All right. Once again, you're watching TV47 Breakfast. On today's panel, we'll be having Ikua Wambote, a political analyst, Professor Fred Ogola, who's an economic and governance analyst, as well as Wakili Joshua Nyamori in studio to help us discuss the current crisis, as well as the government response, because I'm more concerned about the response so far. This is day 2 of the strike by Matatu operators and transporters. This is TV47 Breakfast. Remember, you can interact with us on all our social media pages, TV47 Kenya, on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, where we're streaming live. On X, it's TV47 Digital. Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast, hashtag Story Yetu.
All right. You can tag us?
You can tag us. My handle on X is at Fred Indimuli.
My handle is at Annie_Dida. Na kama Dr. Ofweneke anavyosema, story ni yako, story ni yangu, story ni yetu. Use that hashtag as well on our socials.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunywa maji.
Oh my God. You left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? High five?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero make a beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukue na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
You won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Sharpen the energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Booyah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system iskizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
Then you move it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
Stay fresh, stay safe.
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Booyah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system iskizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
Then you move it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mko rada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yaani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona kiki ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Mpatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho as in kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikamchoka.
Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mko rada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yaani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona. Kiki ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Mpatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho as in kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikamchoka.
Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. He left me. Nitumia ni live. Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? High five?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tangulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You know here?
Yes.
You learn the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system isikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
Stay fresh, stay safe.
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see.
It is day 2 of the total paralysis given the transporters and Matatu operators strike. We saw what happened yesterday. The reports we're getting, 4 people died, 30 others were injured, and over 340 have been arrested so far in different parts of the city and the country as well. We continue our coverage of the Matatu operators strike, and we'll be getting live updates from our reporters, not just within the city, but also beyond. Yesterday, there was a meeting between the CS Energy and other CS's top government officials, as well as stakeholders in the transportation industry. And let's just get some excerpts from what transpired yesterday evening. It was a late night meeting, a meeting that went deep into the night, and a few minutes past 9, the statements were issued. This is what transpired.
So in an open engagement, within a spirit of transparency, we have been able to listen keenly to the issues raised by the public transport sector players. And one of these issues was the matter of possible adulteration of diesel due to the huge disparity in the prices of diesel and petrol and kerosene, sorry. The disparities between the prices of diesel and kerosene, as was announced by EPRA on the 14th of May this year. We have come to understanding that for prudence purposes and to eliminate the risk of fuel adulteration on account of this huge disparity and to save the motor vehicles that are operating using diesel from possible malfunction as a result of possible adulteration, we are going to bridge the gap between the prices of diesel and petrol. And that would mean, therefore, that the price of kerosene would have to go higher as that of diesel comes lower to bridge that gap for the reasons I have stated. That is the understanding we have come up with in the course of these deliberations. Details of those movements of prices are going to be published shortly. Thank you very much.
We need to know the figures.
No. Are there questions? Yes.
There are things we do not agree here. And I believe, Bwana CS Churchill, with all due respect, we did say that we are going to communicate here, clear and open, that we have not agreed, so that we carry this conversation forward. And you did state that we may have tomorrow, Tuesday, we may have tomorrow, Wednesday. Are we clear, members?
Yes.
We did not agree in anything. They gave us 10, according to what they are going to have a conversation with EPRA. And we did state 35 up to 30. That was the communication. With all due respect, we respect each one of us here. And that is what we want it to go out, so that to our members and to the nation, that we did not come here in anything or to set up anybody. Together with the government, we are law-abiding citizens, and we abide by the law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The strike is still on.
All right. With all due respect, the strike is still on. And that's the gentleman of the hour. I understand his name is George. And if you go through X and other social media pages, his image is all over, under the headline, "With all due respect." This morning, we're privileged to have on our panel to help us discuss this issue, Ikwa Mbote, political analyst, Wakili Joshua Nyamori, and Professor Fred Ogola, who's an economics and governance expert. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I would want us to start with the kind of response we've seen so far from the top-ranking government officials. And the main concern is that in the absence of the president, it would appear their hands are tied. You look at CS Wandai, and he's struggling to choose his words carefully on what to say, what not to say. We do have the deputy president still around. He was in Tharaka Nithi yesterday. The CS Treasury is around. But even our National Assembly. And no one seems to be keen or able to take proper action that is convincing to the stakeholders in the Matatu industry or Kenyans as a whole. Do we really have to wait for the president to come back for us to know the way forward? Bonaikua.
Thank you, Fred, and it's good to have you, to have me this morning. It is quite unfortunate that we are running a one-man show government. You know, the reason as to why there exists a cabinet and the, principal secretaries thereof, it is because no one, is a jack of all trades. I mean, you can't have knowledge of everything. But one of the biggest problems we've been having in this government is that there's only one person who actually says what will happen, shares the cabinet meetings, and gives all decisions whatsoever. I think the way the president has been running his government, he has completely, shut down these people's capacity to even advise him. We've had even accusations before that the president advises his advisors. Because why exactly would I be your CS and I am not even, I'm stumbling in front of, a meeting. I go into a meeting with stakeholders like Matatu owners associations and, industrial players and come out with nothing. What is the capacity? What is the role of the CS? If you cannot get into that meeting and confidently be able to convince those people out of a strike. So I feel for these people, and if I was in that kind of a position, I would resign. I would not even want to do a job that I am just a table person. I mean, absolutely scarecrow without any, any capability to make any decisions. You may be having the best of ideas, but if you have to still put reference into your boss and you are not helping your boss to think around and provide solutions to the table, what is the point of being the CS? So I feel that that is one of the biggest problems we are having. Because apparently if we pay reference to, in the past, where we've had presidents who have empowered their cabinet, we've had presidents who have actually relied on the expertise and the knowledge thereof of the entire department. Because when you're talking about the minister, there is a whole ministry behind the minister. I mean, civil servants who have been in that particular department for years and years, they have been there. They have a lot of knowledge. They have a lot of expertise in terms of how we can solve such things. I saw a confusion right from the CS Treasury going down all the way to the CS Petroleum, Energy and Petroleum. I mean, they can't simply provide a solution and convince the people that there is hope. In crisis management, one of the things that you have to do is to be able to communicate. And communications comes into, giving affirmations that you are there to provide a solution. If you are not able to provide hope to the people, that you are there to provide solutions, and they can see it from your efforts and, of course, the remunerations that you've been able to come up with to get out of the crisis, because I know the fuel prices globally have, of course, shot up due to logistics and transportation thereof. That is the main challenge because of the war. But of course, there is a better way of handling this when people are openly telling you that the prices in Uganda are cheaper than the prices in Kenya. That's one thing you can't run away from. Right. So in every discussion that you want to go to, and you are leaving that outside your conversation and outside your explanation, you're not providing anything.
Yeah. But Bonanyamuri, if you look even at the kind of reaction you're getting from the National Assembly, yes, the president is away. Yes, the cabinet may be waiting for the president to come and give them direction, but the National Assembly should independently come into this conversation. Probably the speaker should recall Parliament, which is currently on recess, to discuss a matter, because the damage to the economy for a second day is devastating. Why do you think even the National Assembly appears reluctant? Are they also waiting for the president?
I'm not sure why you say anybody's waiting for the president. I mean, we are deep in a crisis, and this crisis did not start yesterday. And the government responded to the crisis in April. One, by reducing VAT to 8%, and then secondly by giving subsidy worth 6 billion shillings. And then by ensuring that kerosene was protected, fully subsidized. Then when the country received the second shock in terms of the change in pricing of landed the landing cost of fuel, the government then made a second decision, and the second decision was to commit another 5 billion shillings from fuel development levy to cushion, the ordinary consumers, especially diesel and kerosene. And then there was, outcry from the stakeholders. And the government responded by calling a consultative meeting with the leadership of the stakeholders, which meeting was held yesterday. And a critical decision was made yesterday. In my view, the critical decision was that there was an even bigger risk that the stakeholders face, and that there was a possibility of adulteration of fuel because of the differences in pricing of kerosene and diesel. And therefore, a decision was made immediately that, the pricing of diesel be increased, but the pricing the pricing of kerosene be increased and the pricing of diesel be reduced. But then that decision could not be made in a consultative meeting, because the decision that is to be made is a fiscal policy decision that must make consideration of various factors. And there is a legally established entity that makes it. The Minister for Energy, Opio and I, actually indicated that EPRA was part of their meeting, and that EPRA would meet. I take note of the Matatu stakeholders, mentioning that there was no agreement. I think there was the agreement on the issue of kerosene and diesel. What probably the Matatu industry stakeholders expected a decision on at that meeting, that consultative meeting had no legal authority to make that decision. It was a consultative process. EPRA, even the minister cannot make that decision alone. EPRA then made a decision last night before we went to bed by reducing the diesel prices by 10%. By 10 shillings. The question is that enough? Definitely not. The question then is there something else that can be done? I think there must be, but my view is that we do not need to make reckless decisions. It is important that all stakeholders continue engaging, and I'm happy that the government and the stakeholders agreed that they will continue with their negotiations, because for every subsidy that is given, somebody has to pay for it.
Yes.
Or there is something that has to be cancelled. We need to make that decision in a very consultative manner. Yes. And this is not a point where we start blaming each other. It is important that we consider all those factors.
The president is the only person who's away. The deputy president is around. The CS for Treasury is around. The CS Energy is around. How come they cannot come up with make this decision? An issue like subsidy does not necessarily need Parliament.
To insist, you've insisted that a decision was not made. A decision was made last night. Okay, it might not be enough. The issue of fuel is still going to be painful. It is painful across the world, and my view is that we still need to look at the entire fiscal framework and be able to make decisions.
Wakili, my question is, in the absence of the president, do you feel the CSs who are still around are able to make a decision that will end this crisis in the absence of the president?
Decisions was made, and I'm sure decisions will continue to be made by the bodies that are supposed to make those decisions. And I think it is a process that all of us need to consult. I agree with you that probably Parliament needs to convene specifically to discuss this issue. I believe that the consultations need to widen. You get my point? And to also ensure that for every benefit that is given to the vehicle owners in terms of subsidies, that is actually transmitted to Kenyans.
All right. Yeah. Professor, the damage to the economy on those 2 days of the strike by Matatus is significant. Significant enough that some argue that probably the losses made would have probably helped, if at all we maintained the economy the way it was, that some of the monies we think could be too much to sort out the crisis, we're still losing anyway. Do you think, in your opinion, that the CSs who are there, the experts who are there, have the capacity or the ability to actually end this crisis, or they're crippled and have to wait for the president?
Yeah, Fred, before I make a comment, I want to appeal to the whole nation that some decisions we make are affecting everybody, because we had some losses of life, which media is not reporting very well. Some people died.
4 people died.
Yeah, 4 people died. We got some people arrested. Some people are really injured. Some people have disappeared. We care about those people. I think that we have become so insensitive about life that people don't know that it's a gift from God that should be protected by all means. And when we can play politics over people's lives, then for me, that hurts me. I think for me, it even could make this government actually illegitimate, if you like. But let me go to your point, Fred. First of all, I want to say citizens do not consume media speeches, but they consume things at household level. They consume what are the food costs. You can make speeches. You can talk like my brother Wakili can talk, but is the life changing at the pump? When you go to the supermarket, when you go to buy food, education, let us be concerned about outcomes. Let's not make speeches too much, because we cannot be media PR over life of livelihoods of people. And in fact, that was a media PR which failed. And for me, let me tell you what, the most unfortunate part of that speech is not what was said by C.S. Vandai. Was when these people told him something, he walked away without any response. Like, he has no brain of his own, and he cannot be able to converse with these people. You are walking away from the people who actually, if you talk to, today could be better. Look here, Fred, you can talk about, I heard you saying before that, for us journalists, we have to come to work. I was in the CBD yesterday. I've driven through the CBD today. There are some people that, if nobody is coming to town, they're sleeping hungry, because they sell samosa on the street, they sell some mandazi on the street. We are not just looking at the taxes we can make. You're talking about damage. For me, I'm looking for somebody who slept hungry yesterday and was praying. that their government can make a decision tonight, the night before, that could at least make them come back and sell Shoma CVO.
You're thinking, is CS Opiyo Wandayi able to make that decision?
No, I'm just saying he was unable even to tell these people anything. No, not even telling the guys, why don't you have tea? You know, when I was studying abroad, we were being told that sometimes when you have a lot of disagreement with your team, you can just go and take a glass of wine. And you could just agree. You know, this about policy and the rest. They could even postpone the strike and say, give us 3 days. That's the called option theory. Give us 3 days, please come back to work because the economy is suffering. Give me 3 days, I'll give you a response. You can tell somebody like that. Even there's time off in rugby. There's time off in basketball. He could even tell, just give me 2 days. And let me tell you what, we do not have to wait for the president. The president has always been here when we are suffering. Now we cannot be told we are suffering because he's outside. The nonsense of Baba when you are away ended with Raila Odinga. He was the only one that at his landing in Kenya, you could see a solution on some kind, isn't it? But that narrative died with him. Baba when you are away. In fact, this script did not even come from this point. It came from the Bible. When Mary told Jesus, had you been here, my brother Lazarus could have not died. You get my point? But they picked that script and ruled it too long. But not what Jesus did. He resurrected Lazarus. So Lazarus is suffering in Kenya at the moment, isn't it? Can the president land and resurrect Lazarus? The people who died yesterday died. They cannot be resurrected. The people who lost livelihood yesterday, they lost livelihood thread. And I want to say, for me, the most important thing I've learned here is that forget about members of parliament. For us, I went to the street. You saw me on 25th of June. When we entered parliament and declared it null and void, our business ended at parliament. They do host trading. The president said in Karen, when Raila Odinga was alive, that the parliament decides based on the envelope, isn't it? So who sent the envelope? Boda could not afford to bribe the parliamentarians to make a decision. The Matatu operators could not do it. But if the president wants them to meet to make a decision, they will meet and make the decision. They make the decision based on who is buying. And that's what I'm telling Kenyans. In 2027, fagli akila mtu aende nyumbani. Fred, just give me some time. I want to explain something. Now, because this was, when you saw the press statement, boda operators, Matatu operators, those people supported this government to the last man. Without them, this government could have not won the election. The fact that they're coming to protest, I would say that is a vote of no confidence on these people. And to tell you the truth, Fred, you do not need to have a dog and bark. We have people in parliament, we have people in government who are paid a lot of money. They are transporting heavy vehicles like a CS in Kenya goes with 7 to 15 vehicles moving, isn't it? If you look at Opiyo Wandayi's convoy, is very big, but he cannot make a small decision. It's like you pay a dog, you feed a dog, but you're the one barking. When I was in Strathmore, we came with something called the principle of subsidiarity. The principle of subsidiarity means that a decision that can be made downwards should never be made upwards. So if you have a team, government has got a structure, isn't it? I called you what's called the E, executive orders the president gives. That's what he should do. Then the second level is ministerial policy, where fuel prices are being affected. 50% of our fuel prices come from policy, which is ministerial. There is no president to come from where he is to do this one. And that is around 120 shillings per litre is coming from policy made by the CS Wandayi. So it does not need to, I'm not talking about what he will have done, I'm talking about structure of government. When I was Kibaki's economic advisor, we told Kibaki, do executive orders like free primary education, then keep quiet. Give Minister for Education to do the policy, do it. Then State Department run by the PS does what we call execution framework of ministerial policy. Then there's an agency called IPRA that should act. IPRA, Fred, was founded to lower the prices of fuel. But since they came, they have been elevating it. Do you know why? Because they deduct levies from it to run their offices. So they put that on our pump and we suffer. So that is choking us. Fred, when I ever get a chance to run this country, IPRA will be sent home day 1 and EACC. That is the biggest problem in Kenya have.
All right. We'll be coming back to discuss more about the fuel prices and what can be done, because we are seeking solutions. This is our problem as a country, and we better get a solution fast, even if we have to wait for someone who's away. But let's get an update from Nakuru. I think we've seen enough of Nairobi for now. Roads are emptying around the city. What is happening in Nakuru? Mike Chalo is our reporter on the ground. Very good morning to you, Mike. What's the situation in Nakuru?
Good morning and thank you so much, Fred. We're coming to you live from the Nairobi stage here in Nakuru. Behind me, visibly, there are no any vehicle. This is on a normal day. This stage is always full of vehicle traveling from to different parts of the country. But today, visibly, there are no vehicle. Behind me, you can only see a deserted stage here in Nakuru. Majority of the businesses remain closed, not only in this particular stage, but in various corners of Nakuru CBD. Only a few people have managed to get to town by maybe private means, or maybe few who have walked. It is now becoming a walking nation, and also a few who have used maybe boda boda and forced to pay maybe twice or thrice of what they usually pay here in this city. Fred, and of course, as I've told you, a few people have managed to walk. Majority of the businesses are closed. We expect that maybe as the day maybe unwinds, we'll get to know better from what will be happening here in the city. We have also witnessed major roads being blocked. There are various roadblocks as you get to town, and people are struggling to get to town. And if I can only engage a few people who managed to get to town. Ukianza na jina lako, tuambie pengine umeweza kufikaje town hii leo?
Mimi nimekuja miguu. Mimi naitwa George. Ninaishi hapa Nakuru. Nimefika miguu from there all the way from Mawanga. Nimekuja hapa miguu kwa sababu fare ya tuktuk unaambiwa ni 150. Alafu sometimes unaambiwa wakati mwingine hata hakuna magari yenyewe. So far tumekuja miguu from all the way from home hadi hapa kuangalia biashara zetu kwa sababu hakuna kazi. So far tumeteseka sana, hakuna kazi na hatuna any formula ya kufika town. Tunakuja.
Serikali imeweza kupunguza bei ya diesel kwa shilingi 10 na kuweza kupandisha bei ya mafuta taa kwa shilingi takriban 36 ili kuhakikisha kuwa diesel na mafuta taa ichanganywi ili kupunguza pengine kuchanganywa kwa mafuta taa, kitu ambacho kinaitwa adulteration. Kwa maoni yako, nadhani hilo linasaidia kupunguza mgomo huu ama kuweza kumaliza mgomo huu ambao unaendelea?
Hakuna kitu wamesaidia. Kama ni kupunguza, wapunguze bei ya kila kitu. Kama ni petroli, wapunguze bei ya petroli. Kama ni mafuta taa, wapunguze bei ya mafuta taa. Kwa sababu hakuna kitu wanatusaidia. Wakipunguza moja, waongeze ingine. Ni kama kuondoa pesa kwa hii mkono, waweke kwa hii mkono ingine. Haitusaidii. Wapunguze kila kitu. Wapunguze diesel ipungue, na pia mafuta taa ipungue, kwa sababu kuna watu wanatumia mafuta taa manyumbani, na pia kuna watu wanatumia mafuta